So Shlomo Carlebach was this wonderful hippie rabbi. There's some controversy now about his relationships with young women, but let's not get into that side of it, because he did such a, call it a mitzvah, turning people on to Judaism, finding what he would call my hippelach, my little hippie. And he went out to San Francisco and he started the House of Love and Prayer in San Francisco because he wanted to show the Jewish dropouts that there was spirituality in Judaism, because they didn't find it in their conservative temple or in their Orthodox or anywhere. They didn't find any spirituality in Judaism. It was rigid. It had no relevance to their lives. It was foundation Judaism, and he showed them this this neo-Hasidic Judaism, and so many people got turned on to Judaism with what he was doing, and he was able to. This relates to what we were talking about before, to combine the hippie culture with Jewish spirituality and take that part of Hasidus and Kabbalah. And after a few years, he said, all right, we're all moving to Israel. And he moved the whole House of Love and Prayer, eventually settling in a moshav called Mavo Modeim. And so that's where my son would go to spend Shabbat there, with all these aging hippies and his wonderful spiritual experience. And there was one family that would always invite the young people for Friday night dinner. And that's where he met the woman who would become his wife. And their wedding was in Israel. It was December 30th. It's about 7 years ago. And the first night after the wedding, the first night of Sheva Brachos, he wanted it to be at the Moshav. So he and Shira went back, they stayed in somebody's house, and they arranged for home hospitality for any of us. And so Rhonda and I went, and we stayed in somebody else's home, went to Friday night services there. And I had been to some Carlebach services, and didn't work for me. I felt like people were play acting, going through the motions without really making the connection. Well, it was like when Saul became St. Paul. I had my moment where I became converted to Carlebachism. I saw how it can work when everybody in the room is into it, and the people who were leading it had beautiful voices and harmonizing. I mean, some of his hippies had been music students, and their children who were fabulous musicians, and people were dancing and singing and drumming and carried away, and it was infectious. You just couldn't help it. This was the real thing. I was at the source. Carlebach was dead, but his spirit was there in that room. That was huge for me.